Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this Star Savior video. So in this Star Savior video, we'll talk about some beginners tips and tricks that you want to know before you hop into the game, and also break down some of the dailies you need to do so you are able to maximize on all the free resources you're able to get as you progress on the day one of global release. So starting off, we'll talk about one of the important part of this game, the NOA fund right here. So this fund is like your AFK stage rewards. So the more stages you push, the more you can level this fund. So every 5 stage, you are able to unlock the level. Right now, we are at 153. So the higher level you go, the more rewards you're able to get. And you're able to get more from the emergency fund by spending gems. So if I remember correctly, you can buy upwards to 12 times and it will cost you about 1000 gems. So the more you purchase, the more the cost will increase for every 2 hour worth of resource. So this is definitely not something that the low resource or the freeway players will be spending a lot on, but I would strongly recommend you try to push as much as possible daily and at least buying once or twice with your gems, because it's a very low cost additional resource for you to get the additional levels. So that's for this part. So this part is affected by the operations right here. So right now there's actually 24 sectors. So each sector has a whole bunch of stages. So we are currently at 1860. So once we are done with this one, we'll move on to sector 19. So this will dictate the level of your NOA funds. So there's also a hard stage, which is super challenging. So I haven't touched it yet because yeah, like it's pretty much on the same level as stage 17 or 18. So this is for the hard mode. So if we go back into the normal mode, this is what affects your NOA fund. And then for this part, for every stage that you progress, let's go back into the normal side. So for every stage that you progress in, there's actually a first clear reward for all these resources as well. So in case you have pushed enough of all the PvE contents and then you get stuck, then you want to rotate between this as well as all the other PvE game modes, so that you can get all these free resources and try to level up as much as possible before going back to all the stages that you're stuck elsewhere to push even more on day one. And the other thing to take note of is that you can actually feature 4 units in your team. So there's 2 on the front and 2 on the back. So from my knowledge, it doesn't actually affect the stats. It affects the potential of the enemy attacking the units. So typically, units that are tankier, your frontliners, the one that you want to soak up damage will be in front. And the ones that is typically more frail, your DPS or units that doesn't want to take damage, they will stay at the back. So there's also the leaders tab represented by this crown over here, which will boost the leader savior's speed by 10. So this allows your unit to move faster, to do more DPS, or even recover better for more sustain. So that's with regards to the operation side as well as the positioning. Now moving on to the savior development side, one question which I saw in the video yesterday is whether or not we can reset the materials from the unit. So unfortunately, you cannot reset everything. You can reset the level resource right here. You can reset it with gems, very, very cheap, 10 gems only. But you won't be able to get back the resources for a few things. Number one, resonance. So these are all the resonance materials that you will need to push to the higher level. So right here, we're currently at level 8. We need this amount for level 9, so on and so forth. So for this part, you won't be able to get it back. But generally speaking, this material is, I'll say, easily obtainable because you can get it from the events and actually get quite an abundance when they give out freebies so far. So I have most of my units leveled up for their resonance to max out their effect as long as I'm running them. So this part, you're not going to get it back, but this resource is not that scarce. The more important one will be the skill side. So if you go into the skill point, this is where you will need to watch out for the cubes that you are using. So there's 4 cubes. Green, there's a blue color one, there's a purple color one, and a gold color one. So the purple and the gold one will be much later on in the game. In the early game, I think some of you guys might be able to see the blue, but on day one, most of you guys should be seeing just green at most. So the first few levels are really cheap because you only run this up over here, which is easily obtainable. But subsequently, every level will cost the cubes, and this is where you need to plan carefully on your skills level up, because you're not going to get the cube back on a reset. And if you put all the skill points on the units that you do not want, you're not getting all this resource back. So this is very, very important. And I think it's a mistake which a lot of people might commit, because this cube error is something which is not reversible. Not sure whether or not there's a paid package for you to reset the skill levels, but if you are not sure whether or not you're committing to a unit, then I'll say just level the unit to level 3 of their skills first. Something like this. Because the first 3 levels are pretty cheap. You only get to the stage where you use the cube for level up after level 3. So that's why level 3 is a good middle ground if you're not sure whether to fully commit. So that's that. Let me see whether or not I can find any units with level 1 skill. Now, right here. So level 1, right? You only use this cube. So this is very easy to obtain. So you can just level up. So that's for the skill development portion. So the other thing which I want to talk about is the equipment side. So on day 1, I think if you clear upwards to chapter 5, you should be able to unlock the equipment's farming dungeons. And then you'll be able to get some equipments. But in the earlier stages, the purple and the blue equipments are not very worth it to level up. So you don't want to level up their tabs. You only want to start getting all this level up for the additional stats once you unlock the golden equipment. So there's actually 2 tiers of the golden equipments. There's the T2 one, which gives you more base stats and a better passive ability, but this will be in the late game. So right now, I'm still trying to transit my gears from the T1 to the T2. But if you are like in the end game, this will be how your equipment slots will look like. So plus 15 across the board with the T2 tag, and then you can further fix this equipment to a unit for even more stat boost right here. So that's with regards to the equipment portion, but we'll talk more about it once we move into the late game on the global release side. So just some things to take note of for the beginners on day 1. And the other thing to take note of for this page would be the ability to run through the different chipsets of your unit. So this chipset is developed from your Savior Journey. So ideally, if you're not familiar with the Savior Journey side, your first few runs will be slightly weaker or not the most optimal. So you'll be running the Savior Journey a few times to upgrade your chipset. So you want to update this manually to choose the best chipset for your unit based off the situation. So that's for the unit development page. One more important stuff is the affinity side, because affinity actually gives you stats on your unit. So if you are committed to a unit, you know what unit you want to main, then feel free to just level the affinity to unlock the live 2D wallpaper as well as the maximum stat boost rate. Okay, so for the dungeons, we have the resource dungeons right here. So you get 3 free tickets every single day, which you can use to sweep if you have the 3-star clear right here. And we're just going to clear it. And you can use stamina, the stamina represented by this one, to actually do all these resource dungeons. So it will cost you 40 stamina per run, no matter the difficulty. So ideally, you want to push as much as possible before using the sweep on the toughest one for maximum resource efficiency. So we can actually consume this. Oh, it's 30 per run, so you can do 8 times right here. Or you can also use this stamina for the equipment side. So you can actually farm the equipment and get all these equipments for the stronger equipments or stronger substats, or even more material folders to level up the levels of your equipments later on. So that's for the equipment side. We're going to farm this one. Okay. So for the daily stuff to do, you obviously have your dailies. You have your cube palace. So this one is resetted daily. All the resource tickets are also resetted daily. So this is the cube palace ticket. So you can do it manually to see how far you can push. Currently, we are stuck at 5-4, so we're just going to auto through this one. So very quickly, you're able to clear this and then you are getting all this resource. So this is your skill resource, as you guys can see. So your green cube, blue cube, purple cube, as well as the yellow cube pieces right here. So that's for the cube palace, something that you do daily. Another thing that you want to run through daily is the Infinity Tower. So this one is the Interstellar Tower. I call it the Infinity Tower because there seems to be no end. So each of these elemental towers has 3 attempts daily. So you want to do this every single day to progress for all the resources you can get right here, as well as, more importantly, this stone to get the potential elemental units. You get all 3 elements unlocked on Sunday. So you can do 9 times. This is the limitless floors. So you can do as much as possible as long as your team is strong enough. So for this one, 3 times a day. For each element cycling through the week. And then on Sunday, you have all 3 elements being unlocked. And then you want to do your dailies. You want to do your daily ticket clearance for all the various dungeons, including Cube Palace. And last but not least, you want to clear all the dailies for the events, if there's any events ongoing. There's also a flashpoint. So this is a more late game content, which you can, or you want to clear daily as well. So this is super late. Like right now, we're only able to clear the first difficulty with the units we have. So we're not going to talk too much about this one, but do take note, these are all the daily stuff you want to clear. Oh, and one last thing before we end off this video. The stamina system is mostly used in the resource dungeon. It does recover by itself, or you can recover it with gems up to 6 purchases per day, or even the telescope item right here. Right now we have 95 telescope. Apparently I haven't been using my telescopes for all this additional energy. So doing those stages or using this energy for those stages also grants you the gold as well as the EXP material. So in the event if you are suddenly stuck on those material, then you can use all this additional energy recovery for the resources or folders for your equipments or other materials. So that's it for this video. Hopefully this beginner's tips and tricks is helpful, and do remember to like, subscribe to see more. I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.